So, we've had some updates on Dragon Age since last week. Quite a few, actually.
God.
There's been a new trailer that was in State of Play yesterday. Was that today? No, that was yesterday.
No, it was yesterday.
Yeah. And of course we got some looks at the character customizer and some fun stuff. You guys want to talk about the character customizer real quick? How about we let our friend here tell us a little bit about it, and we'll see how we feel after after we get the good word. Let's see.
I mean, what's the talk about? They don't really, they don't give you anything. I mean, they give you things, but they're things that most people don't care about. And then you can build what looks like a Frankenstein with teeny tiny bitty boobies, just tiny boobies.
Hang on,
no
Emerada.
ass.
Hang on. Let's preface this first for chat, so they know where we're going with this. Oh, okay. Yeah.
But he, him, she, her, and they, them, and then your gender is man, woman, non-binary. Love that. Love the inclusivity. Top surgery scars are also included in this for all of our trans and non-binary rooks out there. I absolutely was blown away by this. It's beautiful to see the inclusion in the game and to see yourself represented. But he, him.
Yeah. So there's that. That's what we're looking into in terms of the new Dragon Age character creator. Thoughts? Anybody? Thoughts?
If you need to be perfectly represented by your character in the video game, you're a sad and pathetic human being. And I hope you do one day. Never mind, I'm not gonna say that last part. I think you should aspire to be your ideal self when you play a video game.
I think so too.
You should aspire to, like, immerse yourself in the fantasy of the world that you are stepping into. And enjoy the fucking magic that is being the ideal that you want to be within that world. If you are trans, feminine to masculine, and you got yourself top surgery in real life, and yada 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 yada, play a fucking man. Be the fucking man you wish you were. And quit fucking crying.
I will say I think they could have averted not the whole thing, but probably like 75% of the outrage if they had just included it under the normal scars tab where you tab through instead of making it its own specific little switch box that's literally labeled top scars.
I feel like
I think they could have avoided that, or not all of it, but a lot of it. It's still dumb to put it in, but you could put it in a way that it's like, okay, so here's just some more scar options. Because there's plenty of reasons why someone might have scars in that location that aren't top surgery.
Absolutely. And, it's just like, on top of that, it's like, they could have also avoided a lot of this problem if, like, because they can, like, have all this, like, shit in there as well, and that's fine, right? Like, the pronouns, the gender, I don't really give a shit. Like, the top surgery scars, I feel is pushing it a bit, because then we're kind of pushing against immersion at that point.
Angel in chat says, reminder that no trans person wants to be reminded they're trans. Yeah. If you want top scars on your fucking character, you're probably not trans. You probably have, what's it called?
Autogynephilia? Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Autogynephilia, yeah.
Yeah. Although, in terms of top scars, I don't think that, because autogynephilia, I think, is specifically, like, men wanting to dress up as women, but this would be, like, a woman wanting to emulate a man, so... I guess.
Yeah, no. I'm
Something
sorry,
like
but here's the thing, like, but what Angel says is true. If you're trans, like, you don't want to be reminded that you're trans. That's not what you want. You want to, like, immerse yourself into, like, the you that you want to be, right? Like, you want to represent yourself as your ideal. Why the fuck would you want a constant reminder that you aren't in reality what you want to be? I don't understand. Like, don't get me wrong, I've always been someone who, like, vouches for, I think that if you're a trans person, the best thing you can ever do is come to terms with the reality of what you are, right? You are a man or a woman with a mental condition, right? And that's okay. That's okay.
And how you have to live your life with that might be different than what people anticipate, but yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that's okay. It sucks and I feel for you, right? But that's okay. We all have our shit that we have to deal with, right? But the second that you're trying to basically like convince everyone that no, I actually am a woman. No, I'm not a trans woman. I'm a woman, right? And you start going through this whole thing where you're trying to basically gaslight everyone, and worst of all, you're trying to gaslight yourself. Here's the thing: you live in your body, and there's no way ever that you're ever going to be able to convince yourself that that is not the case. This is why oftentimes you see even trans people that have all the fucking support from family, friends, everyone, still end up committing suicide because you cannot convince yourself, because you are you. You live in your fucking skin, and you know the fucking truth deep down, whether you like it or not. There's no amount of convincing you can ever do, right? So that's why I always say this. I'm 100% for this. If you are a trans person and you want to like find comfort with yourself, the first thing you have to do is accept the fact that you are the gender that you were assigned, and that you have a mental illness, and that's okay. You're coping with it however it is that you cope with it, and no one's gonna have a problem with you coping with your mental illness as long as you're not gaslighting.
Yep.
Right. That's just the truth. Right? So when you see shit like this, it's basically going against that reality. And by saying, actually, no, you know what? I do like being trans. If you have chosen trans as your identity, you're probably not actually trans. You're just quirky and you really, really want to stand out because you're not victimized enough, because you're not, I don't know, black or something.
The whole thing for me, right, with this whole top surgery scar bit is like, we're playing a medieval fantasy game, right? Like, and what's more, we're playing in a world where there's these darkspawn fuckers who are like an undying legion of horrific monsters that will destroy the earth, right? People have real problems to worry about in this setting, like real fucking problems. They're probably not super concerned with the idea of transitioning their sexuality because they're worried about where their next meal's coming from or whether or not some fucking zombie's gonna eat them today, right? While they're just doing their farming or crop, whatever the fuck, right? So it's just like this whole thing with the top surgery scars is so unfitting in the setting. It's so immersion shattering. Like if they put this in the next Cyberpunk game, who gives a shit, right? Like that in that game it would make sense, especially you put like some guns or some knives in there, you know, like right under the scars, and you just rip that shit up and start killing somebody with it. And Cyberpunk makes perfect sense, right? But here in Dragon Age, medieval setting, this shit just, it doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit at all. It's so, and I get it. It's a single player game. It's your own thing. You do whatever the fuck you want. But like, why would you take yourself out of the fantasy? I feel like Asmongold put this perfectly, right? Like for these people, it's not fantasy anymore. It's what do you call it? And hyper reality is what he called it. And that's such a perfect way to put it, because they don't want the fantasy. They want a hyper version of their reality. But it's like you're missing the point of like gaming and immersion and all of this. And even funnier thing though, because they also have the fucking vitiligo slider or whatever the shit, right, where you have the skin condition, right?
You see that one, I don't mind that one, because I mean, the vitiligo is kind of cool.
It is. I'm talking. Okay, so in modern day. No, absolutely. But no, follow me on this, because I'm still in the immersion zone right now. So okay. Vitiligo in reality, current day, nobody gives a fuck, right? In fact, you'd probably be more likely to become like a supermodel if you got vitiligo, and you're also attractive, right? Vitiligo is like a spice. No, you have to still be attractive, but if you have vitiligo on top of being attractive, I mean, they might just give you a yeah. You know, but you might just get a whole like modeling deal out of that, if you know. But in a medieval setting, if you roll up into town with fucking vitiligo, I feel like the actual thing that would happen is everybody just starts like throwing like rocks at you and shit. They probably think you're diseased or something. Like, I don't know if vitiligo works in a medieval setting, right?
I will say this is not really the same type of Earth medieval setting in that, I mean, you're talking about a medieval setting where there's people who literally have horns on their head.
That's true, but like if you're talking about like
you're talking about general races, so I'm not sure it would necessarily be received.
Was like
true, but if you're talking about like a human being who's got it, right? And it's like, and they know what a human's supposed to look like, but then they see that. Hold on. I don't know.
Hold on.
What's that?
I do want to add to this. Hold on.
Go ahead.
You have to remember that this isn't a low magic, like medieval, right? Like Dark Age setting.
Yeah, this isn't like you're walking into a old British town.
This is high fantasy.
Hundreds.
Yeah, this is high fantasy. They have magic, they have like science, they have technology, they have research, right? They probably know what vitiligo is.
In modern Africa, albinos
but you know, I mean, that'll also depend on a lot of things too, like where the people are born. If you're in a really small town where they're really cut off from everything, and a kid it happens to be born
demonic
with
curse.
vitiligo,
Yeah, exactly.
then you're probably going to have a problem with it. But if you're like in the Minrathous, for example, and someone's born with that, and you're in a giant magic-based city where there's always...
Oh.
One
You okay?
second. Someone's trying to die over here.
Oh. Take your time. She's right with it being high magic. It might not be a disease, it might be some sort of demonic curse. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like with the time period, like people, you expect a little more closed-mindedness from like most, like the general rabble, right? The peasants and whatnot.
Yeah, like that depends. Like I said, but if you're born in Minrathous and it's this giant magic-based city where they're always doing this research and all this stuff, someone born with vitiligo isn't going to matter. So it really depends on a large number of things as to how they would really be received. Now, of course, this gets down to the nitty-gritty of how involved are the rules of the world you're building, because the world you're building is going to be different than the Earth world in some way, somehow. Some things people are going to be more easy to accept, other things other people are really going to accept. So realistically, if you're playing a dwarf and you walk into any of those cities, you should be facing some kind of issue. I mean, it's the same way with the vitiligo. If you're walking into a small hamlet where they don't see dwarves, you should be facing some kind of issue. But if the world is decreed by the creators that they just don't really think that way, you're not going to have that kind of issue.
Yeah, that's true.
I suppose there is some suspension to
dispute.
dispute.
Vitiligo affects 1% of dark-skinned people. Dungeon showcased literally every dark-skinned character and their creator had vitiligo. It's the fetishization, not the presence. That's weird.
And that is weird. I agree.
Yeah, that is weird. Also, Brother Doom said Karens don't want to get into video games. They just want to be the center of attention. Video games are popular. That is very fun.
That's so true.
Yeah. It is like I again Tasman again. I believe this is in one of his videos, but he thinks, and I kind of agree with this, that the like vitiligo is just a very easy like visible thing that they can like use as a point of diversity and inclusion, right?
Yeah.
Even though like people really don't give much of a shit about like somebody who has vitiligo, like well, I mean, not in that sense, and
Not
like
anymore.
they don't care that people have vitiligo. Like in the modern day, like you can just have vitiligo, nobody really cares one way or the other, right? I mean, maybe they'll like double take or something, but other than that, it's not really that big a deal. It doesn't have any like negative like effect to you aside from, you know, having patchy skin, I guess. But you know, like it's not really that big a deal. But it is. They have been kind of latching onto it as like a point of the inclusion and the diversity and all that shit. So it's like, I don't know. At a point, it might end up being a fetish thing, because Lord knows the top scar thing being shoehorned in here is definitely a fetish thing. So
No, that's far more offensive. Personally, I mean, it's like I could actually see myself making a character with vitiligo just because it kind of looks cool. But
yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah. Most people these days do think vitiligo looks kind of cool, right? So
yeah, but I wouldn't build a character with a top scar because why?
Yeah. It just have a male character at that point. Make your character male. Just be male. Just be a man. If you want to be a man in the video game, be a man. That's all it takes.
Women, so that's
just
me.
Vitiligo only really affects you if you want a job in the fashion or acting stuff. Does it though? Because like again, we've seen at this point, I've seen at least on Twitter like plenty of times models and whatnot that have the vitiligo, right? So, I mean, I think
young kids are very cruel.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they'll be weird about it, but the kids will be weird about fucking anything, right?
No,
If you're especially short, if you're a little chubby.
Children do not give a fuck.
Yeah.
Children are vicious.
Here's the thing. There are two kinds of people in this world that will never fucking lie to you. One of them is children. The other one is old people.
Sure.
Children do not understand like the concept of having to face consequences for telling the truth. They don't understand what white lies are yet, so they will just tell you the fucking truth. They will be very brutally honest with you. And old people are about like, it depends on the old person, but like old people that are like close to death and have accepted it, they don't care. They just don't care.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right.
There are certain things
For old
that
people, it very much depends.
Oh, for sure. There are certain things that, when present in the game, are proxies for the toxic mindset of those who put it there. It's not the things themselves, it's the mentalities behind them that's the problem. Yeah, there are like canary in the coal mine type things like this, like the top surgery scars. And yeah, to a certain extent, like the vitiligo. And we've determined vitiligo is mostly fine. It's not that big a deal. But it does kind of like point out, when you see these things in games nowadays, you just kind of know that it's like, y'all are kind of doing that whole thing.
Vitiligo shouldn't be a big deal, but they make it.
It should. Yeah, no, for sure.
And then they pretend like you're the ones that make it a big deal.
Mhm.
That's the thing that they always fucking do, dude. They'll include this shit, right? And then they'll be like, oh, why do you care so much? Like, why do you care? Why does it matter so much to you? Better question. Why does it matter so much to you?
Yeah.
Why do you care that like if the female characters in the game aren't like super fucking like aren't like glitter material? Why do you care if they're not hot? Better question. Why the fuck do you care? Why can't they be hot? Why is it a problem for you? Here's the truth, chat. They're jealous. I had a conversation about this on Twitter recently, and I genuinely think that because if you look at like the women that get into this shit, right? That like I say women, that's so harsh, but it is really true. Like it is mostly like
right.
Karens, right? It is mostly
You're
like
pretty accurate.
it's white straight women, right?
I
Almost
wouldn't say it's
exclusively.
just them. I've met plenty
Mostly.
of other
Black women as well.
Don't forget black girl gamers
Black
is a thing.
women are also black women are also very, very much guilty of this.
Let's
But it
narrow
really
this down
just
slightly.
is-
Terribly narcissistic women of all
Yes.
kinds.
Mhm.
Yes. But here's the thing that I've come to notice is that they're mostly straight, and I think this is why you don't just see them push the shit in game. It's the same group of people, right? It's the same types of people that will be like, oh my god, yeah, dude, like, fuck, what's the word? That they'll be all about like body positivity, right? It's like, oh my god, yeah, dude, it's great to be fat, right? You should be proud to be fat and stuff like that. It's the same group of people that will then go ahead and push like trans stuff. They'll push LGBT stuff, right? They don't mind like the lesbians, right? Or the gays. That's all fine, right? It's the same people that can't have gorgeous characters in video games. They can't have the beauty standards be high. And here's what it is, chat. They're fucking jealous. They are jealous that you're paying more attention to fucking fictional characters than them. It really comes back to what Brother Doom said earlier about like them just wanting to be the center of attention. And video games are popular. They want your attention, chat. They don't hate men. They don't. That's why the men are still hot in video games. They don't hate men. They just don't like that men like things more than them. More than they like them. That's all it is. And it's like you stop and you like look at all the shit that they fucking preach. And it's like, yeah, all of this stuff is just removing competition. That's all it is.
Well, they're under the unfortunate and deluded idea that if they got rid of this competition, all of a sudden the men would like them.
Yeah,
And that
exactly.
They
Like,
won't. They'll just find
yes,
something
if all the supermodels are fat and all the other women are gay or trans, the men
they will
will
finally
finally
pick
pay attention to me.
See, they didn't know about
that's what
the.
it is, dude.
They didn't know
have
about the
children
the age-old adage. I'd rather have nothing.
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go straight to that if we have to. But like
Yeah.
the other side of this, and the reason this is like such a problem that people are having with this whole thing, right? Because they could have left all of this in, and that would have been fine as long as they also let you make your character really hot. But with two T's, we have this, right?
No,
So
there is no
you ain't
but.
noticed. Yeah, exactly. The glute slider, you'll see, chat, is maxed out. That is 100%. This is the result here. Chat, my ass is fatter than this. Like, come
My boyfriend's ass is fatter than that.
and it's like I put my squats in, but I don't do them very often. So it's like I don't have an incredible ass or anything. But yeah, this is just kind of sad.
He has a nice
Chat.
twinkie ass.
And the chest size, as you can see, at 45%. This is most of the way full. This is the chest, chat. It doesn't get much bigger than that at 100, too, by the way. It's
Yeah, dude, they're just, dude, what the fuck? What the fuck? Yo, hey yo, finally, a game lowering the booby standards just for me? How can the Latino baddies make themselves look like themselves? Yeah, dude, it's like, oh God, it's genuinely like, it's sad. It's genuinely sad.
what I need to see, and just out of sheer curiosity, and I haven't seen it yet because I know they're afraid to go in and actually do it, is I need to see them do one of the, because you can have all the body types, like you can go from skinny to fat. So I need to see them do fat, because if you put together a fat woman with no tits and no ass, that just looks fucked.
Bizarre, yeah. I would imagine.
Yeah.
You'll have to give it a try when the time comes, Rosa.
I'm not buying the game. I'd rather be shot. Oh, her. Yeah.
No,
You
yeah,
have
Rosa.
fun with
Rosa.
that. I'll watch you.
Self-hatred. Your boyfriend can't ignore you for social media / games if there's no hot women. No, they
Yes, you
can.
They can. And
Your boyfriend will go gay before he fucks you. if that's what you're fucking like. Here's the thing: if you're filling your fucking media with sexy ass men, I'm sorry, chat, but I'm just saying. I would sooner fuck the bunny man from AFK Journey than any feminine character in this game. I'm just saying. I'm sorry, but that's true.
Oh Lord.
That bunny man is more fucking feminine.
It's like there have been some people theorizing that it may be because of like armor restrictions, right, in the game, like outfits and all that shit.
Bullshit.
Well, no, I was about to say, it's like sure shit didn't stop the guys who did Mecha Break, right? When I played the Mecha Break beta, you can make your tits and ass gigantic, massive,
Well, and
bigger
if
than
you're
your
gonna
fucking
spend-
head.
They talk about the stupid fucking hair physics. And if you're gonna spend that much time on goddamn hair, I don't know, maybe spend an extra 10 minutes on figuring out how to get boobs to fit in armor?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but the armor argument is fucking bullshit. If legitimately that's something you struggle with, you need to quit. And you need to find a new fucking job, and then you need to hire people that know what the fuck they're doing.